Welcome back to the party, everybody. How you doing? Let's party. I know. It's Sunday, and I'm here. I did not have time to edit a video for today. So what we're going to do is just do this one live. But make sure you do hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so you never, ever, ever miss. And just like right now, sometimes I'm just going to go live whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and you will never, ever miss a party. It's just another episode of It's Complicated. Let's get into it.
Can you define accountability?
Taking responsibility
for your own actions.
Yes, whether you lie or tell the truth, it's all about just being honest with your partner.
Accountability to me is just taking responsibility for your own actions, making sure that you, like, when you say you're going to do something or you say like something is important to you, that you follow up on those things.
Accountability is when I say I'm going to do something that I'm following through. Accountability is follow through to me.
Who takes more accountability, men or women, and why?
Women.
Why?
Stop the cap.
Men try to hide shit because they feel like they're going to scare their women.
Yeah, she knew. Even as she's saying it. Men try to hide stuff, but
in a way, or hurt them in some way.
I've had a lot of guys
yeah, she didn't have anything for that one.
tell me they're going to do something and it doesn't happen.
I'm going to say, I guess men. No, I guess women.
Why?
Oh, come on, bro. You had it. Of course men are more accountable. Men have to be more accountable because when men are not accountable, society holds them accountable. When women are not accountable, it's all good.
I don't know. I feel like women are more emotionally intelligent. Definitely understand like their emotions and things that they care about a little bit more than men.
Just because you're more emotionally intelligent does not mean that you're more accountable for your actions.
I think men, because they have to
There
work
you
more.
go.
And so like they have a lot more going on in their head. So they have a lot more they have to like take accountability for.
There we go. There's always one. There's always one that I like. There she is.
And responsibility. And they don't really argue much, at least from what I've seen.
They don't argue much. Now, I would say that is just straight up not true. I would say a lot of people like to argue a lot, but that probably speaks to the fact that she knows how to pick them. If she's not getting to a lot of arguments with the guys that she's, with, that good on her.
What was the last mistake you took accountability for?
I blamed my boyfriend, and I take accountability for blaming him. So just now.
When was the last time you apologized?
I'm sorry.
When was the last time you apologized?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, good one.
I always take part in any problem, regardless. Even if someone did something to me, I always take my part of the blame. Is like I put myself in the situation, And I feel like that's the only way we learn how to grow is by taking accountability for everything. It takes two for everything.
When someone
They say that, but when it comes down to it, do they ever take that much accountability? Come on.
commits a crime, do you blame the criminal or do you blame society?
The criminal. You can always make your own decisions at the end of the day.
Both.
Again, they say that now, but then when pick anything that Black Lives Matter has talked about in the last 3 years, well, that's society's fault.
It's nature and nurture. The way you were raised, your mindset, your own individual actions.
It's systemic racism.
I think all of that matters. I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
If they're impoverished and it led to them stealing food, then I don't blame them for their crime. I blame society.
This is like Actual Justice Warrior. If you know his channel, this is his his pet peeve that everybody on the left acts like all criminals are just Aladdin, just stealing to feed their family, and they're just trying to make they're just trying to make their family whole. All criminals are not Aladdin. People are not stealing food for their families. People are stealing TVs and stuff to sell for more money.
Because of the system that we have and capitalism has failed them. Whereas if they were to murder somebody, then that's a different story.
I blame society because I feel like society, in a way,
there we go.
Cause
the systemic systems of the
systemic
racism.
I mean, a criminal doesn't become a criminal overnight. Something must have occurred in their lives that would make them do crimes, make them want to do something.
So if a guy cheats, can he blame society?
No, if a guy cheats, then he should be responsible.
So how is that different than a criminal? I mean, if someone does wrong, why are you more likely to blame society than blame the individual?
Because for society, it takes up over time. Usually a criminal, in my opinion, it doesn't happen overnight. Like I said.
Well, if a guy cheats, why can't he just blame hookup culture?
I mean, like...
Got him!
He could, But then, like, how long would that occur? Like, how long?
Okay, if a guy cheats,
this is the exact hypocrisy that you will find, that there's no accountability for criminals. That, society turns you into Aladdin and you just had to steal. No, but even just cheating. Oh, that's no. I mean it has to be your fault.
Can he blame society or
Absolutely
culture?
not. I don't even have to finish hearing the rest of that. If a guy cheats, he cannot blame society. You've made that choice, and that's where the accountability comes in. So if you make a choice to commit to somebody, you make a choice to commit and follow through. If you're ready to step out the door, you can make that choice to be respectful and to say, hey, you know what? I respect you enough and I love you enough that this isn't going to work out as a monogamous relationship. I've got to go elsewhere.
Why is it when a man cheats, he's a cheater, but when a woman cheats, it's because she's not satisfied?
If you cheat, you're a cheater. If you're a man or a woman.
There you go.
I mean, isn't a man not satisfied when he's cheating?
I mean, like, it's not black or white, but it has been statistically proven that women cheat for different reasons as opposed to men. For men, it's more like sexual gratification, and for women, it's more like emotional gratification. But
even if it's for emotional gratification, you're still doing something wrong. If you're doing a wrong thing, the reason why you're doing the wrong thing is secondary to the fact that you've done a wrong thing.
both are not true and not honest with each other, and that's really what matters. Just, I guess, like communication in general.
Is it possible to have equality without equal accountability?
Oh no, yeah, no.
How can men and women ever be equal if relationships have double standards?
I would say it's impossible.
That's a really tough thing because, I mean, our society is built off of, we live in a patriarchal society where men have ruled for a really long time, so it's really hard to do that because double standards were created in our society.
This guy's got. He got. Feminism got him. He's too far gone. Maybe not too far gone, but definitely gone.
By men.
Why is it when men do wrong, it's men's fault, but when women do wrong, it's society's fault?
I think women just try to put the blame on other people.
There you go. That's my girl.
That's something that, like, I find myself working on a lot because I do see it a lot in the world.
What are women exclusively held accountable for?
What are women exclusively accountable for? Ooh, she ain't gonna have an answer.
Oh, I'm not sure. Exclusively held accountable for just women? I'm not sure. I can't think of anything.
Can you think of any problems in society that aren't blamed on men? What are women exclusively held accountable
for? Nothing exclusively held accountable for. I guess, keeping their shirts on.
That's a good question. I really have no answer for that. I think we're not really held accountable for anything, and everything gets blamed on men.
Can you think of any problems in society that aren't blamed on men?
I mean, women can't blame men for, like, periods and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's the only thing in society that exists that's not a man's fault. You getting your period as a woman is the only thing that is not a man's fault. Everything else that could possibly ever happen is a man's fault. That's just the way it goes, right, gentlemen?
That aren't blamed on men? I mean, I'm sure tons, but, like, at the end of the day, like, the society was kind of founded and built by men, so I feel like they should take accountability. Like, this is the society that you built.
Oh, now society's built by men. Oh, now men are the ones who have built everything. Oh, accountability? Nah.
Why would we expect men to have emotional well-being in a society that always blames men?
I don't think anybody cares about men having a good emotional well-being, and that's the main thing. Like, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. If men are blamed for building society, why are they never credited for anything good in society?
Because it's expected.
What determines which problems you blame others for versus problems you blame yourself for?
So you would blame others for situations where you were misled, and you blame yourself for something which you did on your own with no influence whatsoever.
Interesting. What do you, what kind of things do you blame on yourself versus what do you blame other people? And he said things that you're misled. If you're acting on information that, wrong information, then it's the person who gave you the wrong information. But if you make your own mistakes and you make your own mistakes, I think that's fair. But at a certain point, I think it still is incumbent on yourself to make sure you're getting the right information and vouching that information with exactly what you. Oh my goodness! We got indie film in the building. I don't even have a tree here. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect it. Oh my goodness. Every single. Oh, and we got Divine Rod in the building. Hold on. Oh, I got him here for you. Every super chat gets Morty a treat. Thank you, Indie Film. Thank you. And we got Divine and Rod in the building. I didn't have time to edit a video for today, so we are doing this. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Is it fair for a woman to blame society for the consequences of her own personal choices, like having a baby or choosing a career that over-sexualizes her body?
Definitely not. Like, I'm a webcam model, and so...
Of course she is. That puts everything in line. Of course she's been given all these answers. Hey, we got Celibate Scorpion in the building as well. Welcome. Glad to see you. Yeah, just a pop-up video here. I didn't have time to edit anything for today, so I figured let's do it live. And it's complicated, so we know we're having a good time. Welcome, guys. But of course. All right, let's back this up. What was the question?
Is it fair for a woman to blame society for the consequences of her own personal choices, like having a baby or choosing a career that over-sexualizes her body?
Definitely not.
Yeah,
like, I'm a webcam model, and so something that I do is sexualizing my body, but I'm not ever going to blame somebody else for sexualizing me when I've put myself out there.
You're not ever, or you're not right now? Because I don't want to see your face in a YouTube video or in some article crying about how your life is so hard and you can't get a job and you can't find a man 5 years from now. Right now, you're not complaining because the money's coming in. But what about that? What about 5 years in 5 years?
Why is it when women are called out on their bad behavior, they often blame society or how they were raised, but when men are called out, they're more likely to be held accountable?
Because it's an easy out for women to do that, to blame others, but at the end of the day, it's your own decisions.
Because it's too easy for women. They're effeminate. They can cry. All they do is cry, and they're like, okay, well, you guys are wrong. It doesn't matter if they're in the wrong. I've seen chicks cheat, and then they cry, and their guys will take them back. And I'm like, she cheated on you.
I don't think that men are held accountable as often as they should. But again, that's past experiences.
What kind of experiences do you have with men as somebody who makes their living putting your body on the internet for them to consume? Probably not the best types of dudes, right? Just based on probability. Probably not the best type of dudes. But all right.
But I think that because of the whole Me Too movement, it's so easy for women to fall back on that as an excuse. It's not necessarily that they shouldn't be held accountable for their own actions. It's more so that the media has made it really easy for them to use it as a scapegoat.
I think there's harsher punishment on women for a lot of these reasons, and also society has been built to sustain men and cisgender men, straight white men. So it's like they can be called out on certain things, but it's not as harsh punishment as women or black women.
If women can blame all their shortcomings on patriarchy and internalized misogyny, does that absolve them from all personal responsibility?
No, they think it does, but it shouldn't.
It doesn't absolve them of personal responsibility because ultimately it's their responsibility to do good things for themselves. But yes, I think it's important to
oh my God. If this guy somehow says something to absolve women of responsibility again, I'm going to be upset.
To at least acknowledge that misogyny and living in a patriarchal society, that they are at a place of disadvantage.
If you check the Forbes billionaires list, the Real Times billionaires list, it's probably 100 women and like 3,000 dudes.
Why is that? Is that because women are so oppressed? What are the laws that are keeping women from being on the Forbes 500 list? Oh, there's not. Okay.
Are women more concerned with the ratio of male to female CEOs as opposed to the ratio of lower paid, dangerous, dirty jobs done mostly by men?
Because they're less willing to do those dangerous, dirty jobs and they want the CEO money.
How do you personally decide?
Hey, whenever you're honest, I'll give you that. At least she's honest.
Which social pressures you conform to and which ones you reject?
What? I mean, it depends on your religion, your culture, your environment, your family.
I feel like as a parent, I have teenagers, and I think that's a double-edged sword, right? There's things that we need to conform to, that everyone wants to fit in. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be accepted. But there are things that when you have certain standards, they might not necessarily be the cool thing or the end thing for everyone else out there. And
what is she talking about?
I decide on how it makes me feel. Is it something that is going to build me up and make me a better individual if I do it? Is it something?
See, if I was editing this, I would just edit this whole part out.
That is going to hurt somebody? If it is going to hurt somebody, I don't do it. Try to think of other people when I am choosing my choices.
Who is more likely to care what society thinks, men or women?
Women.
Women.
Who's more likely to follow trends?
Women.
Women.
Why would women care what society thinks if we're living in a world that oppresses them?
We're not living in a world that oppresses women. Quite the opposite, in fact.
Women don't care.
There
Not
you
in this way.
go.
2023, where we at? 2020. Women don't give a damn about stuff. We got BBLs, we got sex workers, we got everything. They're winning. They're winning.
Why do people think that all men are still controlling the world just because there are a few men at the top of the food chain?
Definitely not a few.
That's a great point. Yes, even the guy before said, how many men are in the Forbes top 500 or whatever it is. That's 500 people. That's 500 people. The rest of us are still out here doing our normal stuff. So what does that have to do with anything? That's not even a legit study of if you're going to study anything. A sample size is typically not considered legitimate until it's at 1,000 people. So Forbes Top 500 says nothing about society. Absolutely nothing. Great question. Let's run that back.
That all men are still controlling the world just because there are a few men at the top of the food chain.
Yep.
Definitely not a few. It's like up in the high.
Yeah, just a few compared to the millions and millions and millions and millions of men who are not running shit.
90% of like CEOs and business owners and elites are all men, and they let very few women in, very few other demographics. So I mean,
this is the bait and switch that they make you think that because that group is mostly men, then all groups in charge are mostly men, and most men are part of that control. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Us men who are just normal dudes are down here, right here next to you, with no power, no say, no nothing. Let's Velvet Scorpion say, women aren't oppressed, but they are certainly oppressing another class of humans they don't want to give basic rights to. Babies in the womb. That's a whole other conversation, but absolutely, absolutely agreed.
Statistically proven. I wish that statement was fucking true, and then it'd just be like a mindset, right? But, you know, glass ceiling.
Could it ever be possible for women to hold too much power in society?
Oh, absolutely. I've worked in environments where it was all female management, and it was a terrible situation because women are catty, and yeah, it would be awful.
Yeah, it's possible for anybody. I mean, like, kingdoms fall, kingdoms rise and they fall, and it's gone to show like over and over again, and this one will fall as well. Maybe the next time it'll be the women, and we'll be the ones to blame.
I think this time it's the women, and this time it's the women to play. Hey, we got Harley Rose in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
How is it possible to hold somebody accountable when they can always play the victim?
You can't. Well. I mean, you got laws in play, to a certain extent,
You can't always play the victim. Like, you still have to take responsibility for your own actions.
Again, she'll say that. Like, you can't always play the victim, but you can play the victim, like, almost all the time. And then, like, as long as you don't always play the victim, then that's fine. OnlyFans.
And there's a lot of situations where it is, like, one person as opposed to multiple, so there's no reason for them to be victimized.
If we're all victims of society, then why should anyone be held accountable for their actions, including men?
I'm a man hater. These are not questions for me.
Why are you a man hater? A lot of women today a lot of women hate men today, right?
Because they all cheat. They all lie.
Do it all! Never cheated on a woman. Never cheated on a woman. And you know what? Most of the men that I'm friends with have never cheated on a woman. Maybe you're just going after the wrong types of dudes.
They all do you dirty, go behind your back.
Okay, what if I said that all women are gold diggers? Would that be okay?
Oh, I mean, a lot of them are. I can't disagree with.
How dare you?
So then why is it more socially acceptable for women to hate men than it is for men to hate women?
I wouldn't say it's
because
more socially acceptable.
But it is socially more acceptable. You just proved that.
I would say, I don't know. If men hate women, I don't give a fuck. I mean,
I'm not really big on a lot of the things that are going on in the actual world today. I live in my own.
I was just about to say, she does seem like she kind of lives in her own little world, but hey, cheers to her.
Little world. And I think that more people should just worry about what they're doing.
Facts.
And not like what everyone else is doing.
Stuff.
And they should take accountability for things, except for me, because I know everything. So.
For people who say that's just how I was raised, if someone is raised to be racist or homophobic, is that a valid excuse?
Valid excuse to be that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. You could
be
racist
do it.
if you want. You could be homophobic.
Yeah, I mean, you can do what you want, but like, that's not a good look. It's all about that. Like, if you just want people to believe, oh, okay, you are just naturally a horrible person, then fine. That's just how I was born, whatever it is. But that ain't gonna get you far.
homophobic if you want. I mean, it's your right to, as long as you're not making like doing any hate crimes and stuff. I don't think it's a good thing. You got the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, but it's not a good excuse to be the a-hole,
To a certain age, before they're able to form their own opinions and educate themselves otherwise. But once they're old enough to know better, then no, it's definitely not an excuse.
We're all raised different ways, right? But as you learn and you grow as an individual, once you learn that that's not okay, you have that responsibility. Ignorance is bliss, right? But you can't claim ignorance as a defense for being an idiot.
Exactly. So there we go. Another episode of It's Complicated. You guys know these are never for, some big enlightened anything. It's just for fun. These are, enlightening in their own right, but not expecting to have any super deep thing here. I really think it's important to just, have an understanding of what people think about these things. And it's great to take a look at it. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out, and make sure you check me out live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Once again, I am your host, Lutch, aka The Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace.